Our legal case contends that the government's mishandling of the health and physical education curriculum has had a chilling effect on teachers' abilities to teach the curriculum in an equitable, diverse, and inclusive way.
Our case is about whether or not the government can delete all the content that's not heterosexual education. We say they can't do that it discriminates against LGBTQ people. It's harmful, it's degrading, it makes them the kids feel as if there must be something wrong with them.
A legal challenge against the Ontario government and its repeal of the 2015 sex ed curriculum is being heard today. The repeal reverted elementary schools to a 1998 version, while the PC government prepares its own version of a curriculum. Teachers and the Canadian Civil Liberties Association say that's unconstitutional because the old curriculum, they claim, is outdated and makes no mention of topics like consent, same-sex relationships, or transgender or queer youth. So what is the government saying about its own defense? Paul Calandra is the PC MPP for Markham-Stouffville, and he joins me from Toronto. Hi, Mr. Calandra. Great to see you. Thanks for your time.
Hi, Vashi. Thanks for having me.
I want to start off by reading something that one of the leaders of the groups that brought this case forward said today and get your response to it. Michael Bryant, who is the executive director of the Canadian Civil Liberties Association, said before the court proceedings began, obviously, this is about homophobia. If the government is going to be homophobic with its curriculum, you can bet the Constitution will have something to say about that. What's your response to him saying that?
Well, look, it's the same type of over-the-top rhetoric that Michael Bryant used to use when he was an elected Liberal member of provincial parliament. Look, we made it very clear, both during the election and since the government was sworn in, that we wanted to make some changes on the educational front. We made the promise that we would take a look at the health education, but we also said we want to do better on the maths, on sciences. We want to take another look at standardized testing, and that's what we've set out to do right from the beginning. Having said that, I respect the fact that there's a couple of groups that have brought this forward. They've taken the opportunity to go to court, and I think our case is strong, but we'll allow the courts to make that determination.
Part of the case that's being made by the government's lawyers is that even though it's not explicit, that, for example, talking about gender identity or same-sex relationships isn't explicit, teachers can still bring that up. Do you agree with that argument? Is that the argument that your government is making? The lawyers have said that.
Yes, look, they do, and we have every confidence in our teachers and the professionalism of our teachers. I fully expect, and we've seen it. Look, I have two young girls in school. They have lots of questions. But when they have those questions, when their peers have those questions, they can ask that of their teachers. We haven't forbid that by any means, but what we've said we wanted to do is get back to the parents, get back to a real consultation, not just on the physical and health education. I know that's seems to be the priority for a lot of people, but part of the consultation, which by the way has had over 70,000 engagements, it's been a huge success, but part of this is about financial literacy, it's about reading, it's about math, those areas where students in Ontario seem to have fallen behind. And we're on track. As I said, the consultations are done. The minister is now and her team are reviewing those, and we're on track to bringing something forward later on this winter and having a new curriculum in place by September of 2019.
Mr. Calandra, you and your lawyers say that talking about those things like gender identity, et cetera, isn't forbidden. But your government also set up a website and encouraged students and parents to report teachers who tried to teach the 2015 curriculum. So how do you square the circle there?
We did. We set up a website. It's called fortheparents.ca, but part of that was part of the consultation process. It does have a link. Of course, that links you to the Ontario College of Teachers. If parents want more information, they can do that. But that, by and large, was one of the vehicles that we used very successfully in order to engage parents through this process, and not to harp on it too much, but a very successful engagement. Over 70,000 people in comparison to the last time this was done by the previous Liberal government. I think they had over 1,100 engagements. We've gotten over 72,000. So I'm very encouraged. We've had some consultations in my riding. I know a lot, speaking to my colleagues on both sides of the House here in the legislature, they're doing the same. And now it's going to be up to the minister and her team to bring something forward to the legislature. again, take a look with parents, and I think when you look at the broad base of the consultations that we've gotten forward, we can do better on maths, we can do better on reading, we can do better on financial literacy, on the sciences, and we can really put our students on the right path. And as one of the teachers that I spoke to just recently said, look, whether it's a physical and health education, whatever it is, the curriculum should be a tool of bringing people together. And that's what we're trying to do.
And I do want to ask you about the consultation, but the court case is specific to the sex ed portion of it. And I just want to be clear, because you are saying teachers, which is it? Can teachers talk about gender identity and same-sex marriage, or what the Premier had said when that so-called snitch line or the website was set up? We expect our teachers, principals, and school board officials to fulfill their obligations to parents and children. When it comes to what our students learn in the classroom, we will not tolerate anybody using our children as pawns for grandstanding and political games. And make no mistake, if we find somebody failing to do their job, we will act. So which is it?
Well, both in a sense, Vasha, we absolutely want the curriculum that's in place to be taught, and we expect our teachers to do that. But we also understand that our teachers, administrators are very professional, and they also are going to be met with students who have different questions, and they should not have any fears. We've said right from the beginning, the minister said right from the beginning, they should use their judgment and answer those questions when students bring them forward. But clearly, we want the curriculum that's in place, at least until September of 2019, to be taught. That's part of the responsibility of the teachers. And look, across Ontario, we're seeing this done. I can speak to the extraordinary professionalism of my daughter's teachers and the York Region Board of Education on this. People really want to move forward. They want to do better for their students. Teachers want to have certainty. And that's what direction the government is moving in.
When's the new curriculum going to be presented?
I said we're right now we're looking at it. I said we had over 70,000, about 72,000 engagements. We had made a commitment that we would come forward in the winter with what we've heard, and that a new curriculum would be in place by September for the new school year in September 2019.
The Premier had mentioned, in reference to the 1,600 submissions that were made through the website, that that there were certain groups, they were flooded by certain groups. What does that mean?
Yeah, I think at the beginning, Vasha, I would have expected, honestly, that it wouldn't be a surprise that in the initial days of the consultations, those who had very strong positions on either side, specifically on the sexualized education portion of it, probably went to the website almost immediately and started adding their opinions, whether it was for or against. But what we've seen since then has actually been very, very encouraging. Thousands of people attended the websites, the telephone town halls, sent letters and emails to members of provincial parliament. So the engagement actually turned into something really, really, really positive. And as I said,
do you mean that they supported your position? Is that what was encouraging, or just that the number?
No, the number of people who have come forward with varying positions on different things. And look, the only things that I've seen, honestly, are those that have come through my office, because we've had some consultations in my office. The minister, though, and her team at the department will be taking a look at all of those engagements, the over 72,000 engagements that we've had. They'll be digesting those, bringing it forward, and that's by and large what we'll focus on will be the focus of the new curriculum in September 2019. But look, you're quite correct. The Premier had said that in the early goings, it seemed that one way or another, people were having very focused opinions. But I expected that.
Well, he said that certain groups had flooded it, meaning groups not in favor of your position.
Yeah, and I expected that, and I expect that that groups who were in favor of the current curriculum were very active, and I also expect in the early days groups that were in favor of something else were very active. But as the consultations went on, we started to really get a mixed bag of things, whether it was health education, whether it was math, whether it was the standardized testing, reading and sciences. So it really turned into something very, very, very positive. And I say, when you look at this consultation in comparison to what had been done before, the results or the engagement that people have come forward with is very encouraging, and I think we can be very proud not only of that, But I'm very excited by what the minister brings forward and the potential for a really good new curriculum in September.
Has your government or the minister ruled anything out, to include in the new curriculum? For example, is your government open to explicitly including language around trans rights, gender identity, and sexual orientation in the new curriculum?
Yeah, by and large, we've heard from locally, especially what I've heard from local stakeholders, is that it was more the age appropriateness of some of the previous curriculum. So I'm certainly not opposed to seeing that. I just want to make sure that that it is age appropriate. That's why we're turning back to parents to see what some of their suggestions are. We've also heard. Whereas some boards will identify for parents in advance what is being taught and when it's being taught, so notice. So there's a lot of different ways we can do this, but I think.
But you're open to including that explicit language. Have you ruled it out?
Yeah, and we've never said that we wouldn't. We just wanted to explore the age appropriateness of some of it. Is where a lot of parents have came to us and said that is the problem that they have. But when you look at the totality of what we're looking at. On this particular consultation. Look, for me, I'm a parent, as I said, of two young girls, and we've had a heck of a time with math in my home. So we spend a lot of time, have tutors, and when I'm sitting in the tutor center with my daughters, I hear parents just extraordinarily frustrated, saying we have to do better on maths. We can't continue to let students down. So. I'm really excited by the potential to make improvements and to really give our students the tools that they need going forward.
All right, I have to leave it there. Thank you, Mr. Calandra.
Thanks, Vashi. I appreciate it.
Appreciate your time.
All right, bye-bye.